Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session. My name's Chris Elliott, Head of Marketing, and joining me is Chloe Farrell, our Marketing and Operations Coordinator. Thank you very much, Chloe, for joining me, taking the time out of your busy schedule, of course, to help share your knowledge and insights today. We are going to keep it relatively brief, maybe 20 to 30 minutes max. Really what I want to do is to introduce you to a couple of case studies, see what other companies are currently doing and why they are using Nvolve to enhance their skills gap analysis strategy. After that, Chloe will take us through some of these features within the platform itself. So you'll get to have a good look at that and see what that's all about. For anybody of us joining live today, feel free to use the chat feature. I haven't been on this platform myself for a while, but there is a chat or a question feature. Feel free to throw that in, and if we see it come up, we'll be more than happy to answer. We'll also be sharing this out through our social channels as well as a recording, so be on the lookout for that. So what I'll do is I'll just take over this here now, and I'll sing out to you, Chloe, when we need you for a look at the platform. But just give me a second here. So yeah, I guess today's session we're really focusing on the skills gap analysis, and it's I guess skills gaps are present in all industries, but none more prevalent than within frontline workforces such as manufacturing, food processing, energy, waste, logistics, and so on. And in many cases, I guess organizations have to rely on systems. Sometimes they're just built for corporate or office-based environments, or even perhaps worse, Excel spreadsheets. And this is where Nvolve is really different. And I guess you could say Nvolve is ideal because it's built for these frontline workforces, unlike regular LMSs or e-learning providers. Sometimes these tend to just add in these types of skills gap analysis features as a bit of an afterthought, a bit of a plug-in, if you like. And people often come to us time and again to address this, or simply they are just at the beginning, perhaps they're stuck with their spreadsheets for tracking everything. I think on that note, what I might actually do is just quickly share something here. Let me just get that up, and I will go to this one here. Hopefully you can see that okay, coming through now, yep. And this is a great resource. I'll share some of these links with you in a little while, but something that really stuck with me, a few years ago, I got to catch up with Simon Clackett, a training and development manager with Nalipac, who have been with us for quite a few years. And when I caught up with him, one thing he said was, when a company transitions from a smaller to a larger company, you can't rely on spreadsheets anymore. And it's something that's stuck with me ever since then, because I think it's absolutely true. And I wouldn't say what size of the company, maybe 50 employees onwards, they're going to start to struggle with being stuck in spreadsheets. And we'll look at it in a moment why that's really important to address. But I'll share this link with you. These are some of our customer testimonials here. There's more down here that you can take a look at. Let me just get that shared into here. I'll pop that into the chat. It's probably the best spot for it. And I encourage people to go and have a look and see what other organizations are doing on their journey. And there was another one that recently came through, I think, that caught my attention, and it's around spreadsheets, and that he said that Nvolve was really quick to pull out any reports. That's really important regarding spreadsheets, because that's very difficult to do when you're trying to analyze, forecast, or prove anything at all. So I'll just come off there. I guess the real question is why are they doing this? Why would they go to somebody like Nvolve in order to support them on that journey of really enhancing their skills gap analysis. And I guess firstly, it's really about getting product out the door. Um, having the right skills and capabilities to actually meet the needs of your customers is critical. And once again, you need a system that's going to be able to really quickly identify this. Secondly, of course, spreadsheets or inadequate systems are poor for tracking, identifying, and proving compliance. So whether it's ISO or say BRCGS or external customer audits, these things are really poor from a compliance level as well. And this is going to cause serious problems right down to the bottom line of your business. And so let's sort of now perhaps take some time to look at perhaps some of the companies that are doing this and how they're implementing this. I will share with you now Coca-Cola's connected workforce journey. Let me just share that here. There it is. And the Coca-Cola case study here. I'll share this link as well. This goes into quite a bit of detail, but one of the things I had the great fortune of catching up with John Foley, who's the Global Capability Director at Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola have a whole bunch of sites around the world using the Nvolve platform across their entire skills and capabilities. And one of those aspects, of course, is the skills gap and identifying skills gaps. Coca-Cola has been able to identify these skills gaps and implement targeted training and development strategies, ensuring that the workforce remains at the forefront of industry expertise. And I think what that really means there is the key point is that they can identify the training that's required. It enables them to effectively plan, forecast, and identify potential challenges that may arise. I am going to share this link with you. I highly recommend taking some time to listen to this case study as it is Coca-Cola. I don't get any typos there. As it goes into not just the skills gap analysis, it also goes into their learning framework all across their skills and capabilities from a global perspective. We're talking about multilingual. We're talking about being able to translate documents, standard operating procedures, and so forth. So take a look at that one when you get a chance. Moving on to a different industry now, looking at Kalina Group, they may be the largest, actually, I'm not too sure, but they're certainly one of the largest logistics organizations in the UK. And I'll show you some of the stats that they've been able to dig out and prove the effectiveness of using Nvolve on their journey. Let me just share that one as well. Green and Kalina Group. Hopefully you can see that okay there. So what Kalina Group have done is they've been able to significantly cut down their training time. They've boosted productivity. They've saved thousands of admin hours per training event. They've eliminated all of their filing cabinets, not just a few. They've eliminated all of their filing cabinets. They've saved on recurring training costs, external training costs. And the real thing here is they have zero training non-conformances in their external audits since launching Nvolve, which is absolutely amazing. And really, what these stats show, these benefits relate directly to the effective identification and addressing of skills gap using Nvolve. So once again, this is another one that I want to share with you. Take a deep dive. It goes into a whole lot of other stuff. You see they have an ESG action plan. Sustainability is really key to the Kalina Group. So there's a whole bunch of content there beyond what we're just talking about today. Let me just pop that in there as well. If I get through this without typos, that'll be amazing. There we go. And like I said, Nvolve really is built for the frontline workforces, the deskless workforce, if you like, those that are on or out on the factory floors, they're out in the vehicles, they're out on site. They're not desk bound. So what you can find is with Nvolve, and I encourage you to go through and look at that content, but you will see a whole bunch of other relevant content to help you on your own journey. See what these other organizations are doing that can really help you plan and make decisions for the future. And that's really like all I wanted to get across today. I think it's great to be able to see what other professionals are doing and overcoming their challenges, but there's nothing better than actually seeing it in action. And I think that's what Chloe's going to do for us today, give us a look at these key if you like. So I'll hand it over to you now, Chloe, if you don't mind.
Yeah, 1 minute. Just the screen ready for you.
Perfect.
Okay, so hi everybody, I am Chloe. So today I just wanted to give you what we call our under the bonnet tour of basically what Chris is talking about of the skills gap and why our customers are using us. So if you can see my screen okay, what I'll first kind of talk about is our training compliance meter. So traditionally, when you move from Excel and you're going digital, the first thing that you think about is your overall site compliance. So who's trained in what training items? Is it complete? Is it not? And not having to rely on that Excel when you are looking at those numbers. And this is step one of when you're looking at going digital. So this is our learning dashboard. And this is all of your analytics that you would normally have to do mandatory and a lot of heavy lifting when you're doing your Excels of getting this data on a daily basis. And this is your live dashboard. So this is how you know what is complete and what's not. And then just feeding off what Chris was talking about with Kalina and with Coca-Cola, we needed to go that one step further to understand not only what training is complete, but what skills gaps we have as a business. So that's when we developed our skills gap analysis dashboard. And we look at it twofold. So not only do we look at your work groups, work group is just a term we use for your job role, but we also look at the individual learning items. So when you're looking at skills gaps, it's not just to do with the employee cover, it's to do with the learning cover, it's to do with your skills cover, it's to do with everything when it comes to understanding if you have any gaps within your business. So if I take you through the first one here, it's a work group role cover. So your cover rate is your employee cover, and the second one then is your skills cover. So that's what skills that they have assigned to each individual employee. So if I look down on my dashboard here, I can see these are all my work groups on the left-hand side. I can see the top 4 here are all in red. That means I'm not meeting my minimum required employee number. So I have set, for example, here I have, and my second one here, production. I have 15 required employees to be compliant as a business, but I only have 10 that are assigned. So that's why I'm showing up red. I only have 67% employee cover. But if I look on over in my right-hand side here, I've got my skills required. I have 3 skills required for this particular work group, which is production, and only 35% covered. So that means out of those 10 people, that I only have 35% skills covered. So I know as a business, that's something that I really need to work towards getting up to 100%, not only meeting the minimum employees, but also making sure the employees in that work group have the training complete that are assigned to them. And if I'm in the live dashboard here, I can actually hop in here to the ones that are showing up red and assign employees directly. So, if you have time when you're looking at this dashboard, then I can just assign employees and make sure that they get that training complete then once it's been assigned to them. So as I scroll down further in my dashboard here, I can see all my greens. So my greens is neutral or above. So if I have 0, that means I've met my minimum employee requirement. So in my night shift here, I have 6 required and 6 assigned. So that means I'm 100%, I'm neutral, means I'm completely in the greens. But if I look on over, I can see that I have 3 skills required, but only 56% of those 6 people have got those skills, have got the skills trained up on. So again, that is another area that I would need to work towards improving. And it's not just meeting the employee number, it's about making sure that I have the skills required to do that job effectively. And again, I can look at my monthly dashboard here on the bottom, so I can look to see if there's any trends. For example, in my work group, I can see that I'm pretty steady over here for the 4 months. But in my skills cover, I can see that I'm in a steady decline. So that just tells me that over the 3 or 4 months that I have not been getting training complete. I've been assigning training to all my employees, but they have not been getting those complete. So again, it's another area to look at when you are looking at the big picture of this skills gap. And what this really does, it tells you, for example, if someone leaves their role or changes position, are you safe, and do you know that you have enough employees to cover that role if that was to happen, or do you need to actually assign time to get more people trained up in a different role to make sure that you will not go through any gaps then if someone was to leave that role. So that's just your overview then of your work groups. If I look at the learning items then individually, it's the same concept. Each individual learning item that I have, so any training, any e-learning, whatever it is, would also have a skills gap associated with that. So again, you have your required employees, you also have your assigned employees then, so how many have actually been assigned this course, and what the learning item gap is. So again, exact same concept as your work groups, but just taking the learning items individually and understanding what your cover rate is. So out of all my learning items, I can see I only have 35.8% cover. So I know as a business, something that I really, really need to work towards is making sure that everyone that has the training in their learning plan has it complete, and that I have the minimum required employees to get that complete. So this also has its own dashboard. So again, if you have your learning items cover, you can see if there's any trends, what's been a busy month, if you've had a dull or any lulls in the last few months, you can get a really good understanding over the year, kind of what's been happening with your learning items. So again, there's quite a lot of information to go over with each of these. You can still go in to view each learning item as well and see who's actually been assigned this, what's complete, what's not. Maybe some are in grace period. So you can really get down to details as to why something has not been complete. Maybe it's in grace period, maybe it's expired, whatever the case may be. You can kind of go in and examine directly from your skills gap dashboard. So Chris, that's just kind of a basic overview of the dashboard itself. Again, if there's any kind of deeper questions that anyone has, please send them over, and I'll be happy to kind of give you an overview then as well.
That is perfect. Thanks, Chloe. Hopefully you can hear me there okay. No, wonderful. Really insightful. And I guess if anybody is really looking to go for a deeper dive on all of this, but not just the skills gap stuff that you've been talking about, but the platform in general, because it is massive. There's a lot to involve, a lot more. You're the person that they would generally get a demo from, being our the one in the know of all things Nvolve Platform. So if anybody wants to reach out to us at all, by all means do so. The team here would be more than happy to give you the deep dive on all of this. But hopefully that's really giving you a bit of an insight as to what's happening on the skills gap analysis front and where that fits in with Nvolve and where that could fit in with you in your industry. As I said before, get online and check out some of our other case studies. We have our Nvolve Insights, which I'll share. This will enable you to see a lot more about what other companies are doing. We're working with a whole bunch of different partners and industry bodies, and really aimed at helping you getting the most out of what we would call the connected workforce strategy. So I'll share that in there. Would really love to have anybody over and subscribing to our wonderful content. But really, that's all there is today, unless there's anything else from yourself, Chloe. I think we'll wrap it up there, and thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, everybody.
Take care now. Bye-bye.